Hey guys, welcome to Isaiah 21. Now, I have the run of the house at the moment, so I'm able to film on my computer, which is nice. I'm actually going to see because we have a guy here in town that's really good with the computers. I'm gonna see if I can have him upgrade my laptop and bring it up to Windows 10, and then I have a tower that I have a bunch of really good parts in, but never was able to get it working. I may take that to him and have him fix that, and I may put that in here and then use my laptop out and set me up a little mini studio out in the shed so I can film on the laptop more often than on the cell phone. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to let the Lord lead me on that one and see what's going to be the best case scenario. So we were on Isaiah 21. If you remember from yesterday, it says it was a declaration. I believe it was a declaration against. Let's see. Okay, on my phone app, it says the fall of Babylon is proclaimed. Here it's fallen and fallen as Babylon, same thing. So we're going to, and this is why I like to use this e-sword better, is because everything's on the screen right here. But we're gonna, it'll be the same content either way. But I do like what it says over here on the side here. It has this Isaiah 21:1, the burden. The first 10 verses of this chapter contain a prediction of the taking of Babylon by the Medes and the Persians, which is here denominated the desert of the sea, because the country around it, and especially towards the sea, was a great morass, often overflowed by the Tigris and Euphrates, and only rendered habitable by being drained by a number of canals. And if you guys haven't ever done it, you can go right here. I was right there by it. Let me get a map here. I was right there by it. So there's Baghdad up at the top, up there. And here's Karbala. We were right just south of there, where I was stationed at Kalsu. Kalsu's a little bitty province, so it might not show up on the map here. Let's see. Well, let me do this instead. Oh yeah, a little bitty. So there's my old fob right there. You can still see some of the building imprints and everything. If I did a satellite shot, you'd see it's not terrain, transit. Here we go. Terrain. No. Satellite. There we go. So that's Fob Kalsu right there where I was stationed. And that's big white structure you see. You should be able to see. It might be behind my picture. Let me move it over here. Here we go. So that big building, that big white building there, that's the DFAC. And then over here, these buildings here, this is all the support platoon. This is where their garage was. This is all the SRC. Back here's all the chew blocks and everything where everybody was living. Oops. Yeah, this looks like a fairly old picture because most of this is already gone. They took the T-walls and everything down. Yeah, a lot of memories from that place. A lot of men died because of that place. So anyway, the point we're looking at here is we're looking at Babylon and where it was at. And I'm trying to remember exactly where it was located because sometimes it's hard to see on the satellite maps. Oh wait, I think it's up here. Let's go back here and let's pin it down. Okay, it's right on the highway. Yeah, it's right here. So, if you think about what the original description of what Babylon was, see, Kalsu's right over here, and here's Ishtar Gate, which is where the start of Babylon is. This is all of this area right here in the middle here, all of this around the Ishtar Gate, that's all Babylon. Now, keep in mind, it extended 100 miles to the west and 100 miles to the east of the Tigris River. So, we back out here. So imagine the Ishtar Gate is the center, or the beginning of it. Everywhere you see the dark area, here in the middle, even extending over to Kabr bin Hamud, or Karbala, that was all Babylon. That's how big it was. It was massive. Huge, gigantic place. So if you've never looked up on maps where these locations are that you read about in the Bible, you can look them up. It's pretty interesting to see where these places are right now, and to see, some of these locations and see what they look like now. It's really, really cool. See, I was just north of this area. You can see where the tower, the actual Tower of Babel. See, this is the reason why I say this is a pit of demons over here, and it's all inhabited by demons. Geologically and historically, goes back thousands of years. This location right here was deemed a portal to the underworld, and the Tower of Babel wasn't an intended to build up to God and to heaven. It was opening a portal to heaven. If you look deeper into the original language, you can see that. So you can see right here on the screen 2 spirals. Now, Saddam Hussein had built a palace on one of these, and because he wanted to open that portal and get access to that stuff. That was what his goal was. But the core of Babylon is right here. The main body of it is right in this area here. And you can see that if you look to the left, it's behind my picture. They built another dome. They're trying to open that gate again. They're trying to open that portal again. This is a very, very bad place. Everything about this place is just, it's negative. And you can, if your eyes are open to seeing the demons, you can see them. They look like the shadows running around, even in the daylight. You see them everywhere. This place is just loaded with them. It's horrible. And there's the third one right there. See, they're trying to open the portal again. They're not restoring the site. They're trying to open the portal again. It's not going to happen. God's not going to allow it. But we do know that there are demons trapped under the river, and that river is going to let that out. So, you ever look that stuff up? You ever want to see what it looks like? There you go. You can look that stuff up. Do satellite shots. Google Earth is pretty good. You can get down pretty close, but Google Earth you got to pay for. Maps is free, and they don't overlay maps to cover certain areas. You can look right down on it and see it as real time as it looks like. Google Earth, they'll actually put a overlay to hide stuff. On maps, they can't, because people use maps to travel. So it has to show everything. So yeah, you can go to maps and get a much better view of what's going on. But you can see here's up here in the upper left, that's the original, that one there, that's the original spiral. This one over here is a new spiral, and this one down here is a new spiral, because they're trying to open that portal. Right here in the center, notice there's nothing there. There's a reason why there's nothing there. Ain't no garden there. There's a reason why there's nothing there. That's the portal. They're trying to open it. And CERN is doing the same thing. And where CERN is located, same thing. That place for thousands of years has been called the lid to the bottomless pit. And they're trying to open it. And here, same thing. They're trying to open this portal. Trying to open this up to allow demonic entities to come through, because they're talking with some of them and they're telling them this is what you need to do. Don't be surprised at some point in the future. Well, we may not even be able to see it. At the tribulation, they might, if a UFO doesn't land right here. because it's a portal. So, there's your geography lesson for the day. This is what I like about doing this on my laptop, because I can open up other pages and go look up some of that stuff. It's pretty interesting when you look at it and see the reality of this. That this stuff in the Bible is not fake. It's all real. And these places are real, and they're here. And I've been to one of them. Some people have been to others. Go to Israel, take a trip to Israel. Woo! That will wake you up. All right, so now that we've done all that, let's get into the chapter. Isaiah 21, Fallen, fallen is Babylon. The burden against the wilderness of the sea. Those are capitalized for a reason, because that's not referring to a wilderness or a sea. As whirlwinds in the south pass through, so it comes from the desert, from a terrible land. A distressing vision is declared to me. The treacherous dealer deals treacherously, and the plunderer plunders. Go up, O Elam, besiege, O Media. All its sighing I have made to cease. All its sighing I have made to cease. Therefore my loins are filled with pain. Pangs have taken hold of me, like the pangs of a woman in labor. I was distressed when I heard it. I was dismayed when I saw it. My heart wavered. Fearfulness frightened me. The night for which I longed, he turned into fear for me. Prepare the table. Set a watchman in the tower. Eat and drink. Arise, you princes. Anoint the shield. You know, the shield is a reference to faith. For thus has the Lord said to me, go, set a watchman, let him declare what he sees. And he saw a chariot with a pair of horsemen, a chariot of donkeys, and a chariot of camels. And he listened earnestly with great care. Then he cried, a lion, my Lord. I stand continually on the watchtower in the daytime. I have set at my post every night. Is he talking about a watchman, or is he talking about Isaiah? He's talking about Isaiah. Isaiah was a watchman. All the prophets were watchmen. John the Baptist was a watchman. Verse 9, and look, here comes a chariot of men with a pair of horsemen. And you know what the lion references to. Then he answered and said, Babylon is fallen, is fallen. You know where that's from. That's the book of Revelation. And all the carved images of her gods he has broken to the ground. O my threshing and the grain of my floor, that which I have heard from the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, I have declared to you. The burden against Duma. He calls to me out of Seir, watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night? When they say it twice, there's importance there. That's when you pay attention. Anytime you see a word or phrase used twice in reference to something or someone, there's importance to that. Watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night? The watchman said, verse 12, the morning comes and also the night. If you will inquire, return, come back. Listen to what he said there. Verse 12. The morning comes and also the night. How can they come at the same time? If you will inquire. If you're going to ask. Return, then come back. Well, how can he come back if he's already returning? Where is he returning to or from? There's a code right here. Verse 13, the burden against Arabia. In the forest in Arabia you will lodge. O you traveling companies of Dadanites. Remember the Dadanites? They're from Jeremiah. Verse 14, O inhabitants of the land of Tema, bring water to him who is thirsty. With their bread they met him who fled. For they fled from thy swords, from the drawn sword, from the bent bow, and from the distress of war. For thus the Lord has said to me, within a year, according to the year of a hired man, all the glory of Kedar will fail, and the remainder of the number of archers, the mighty men of the people of Kedar, will be diminished, for the Lord God of Israel has spoken it. Within a year, according to the year of a hired man, what they'll do with that, like for most people, a year, give or take a few days. For a hired man, it's to the day. Okay, I have fulfilled everything I've promised. It's been 1 year exactly. I think that's what he's referring to there. Within a year, you'll be able to pin this one down. You want to know how this is going to happen? A hired man goes from this to this. This day on this year to this day on this year. You're going to see what I'm going to do in that time frame. It will be perfectly set so they can pin it to exact time. You'll see this happen. And they did. Of course they did. The Lord never leaves his promises unfulfilled. So what we're seeing here in this particular chapter, and again, we can't possibly cover it all. This is rich with allegory, it's rich with euphemisms, and it's rich with prophecy on individual nations and individual circumstances. We can't possibly get it all, but look at how much he's talking in code and how this isn't referring, because it doesn't make sense if it's referring to the things it says. It's referring to people, referring to nations, referring to places. And we see, like on the map, there is nothing left of Babylon. They are gone. It is wiped out. How they're going to, listen, because a lot of people are saying Mystery Babylon is Babylon the city. How that's going to happen? Could they build it in a year? Maybe. Could they get the infrastructure established in a year? No. Absolutely not. In order for this to be a world power? Heck no. There's no way you can do that. It would take 100 years. It would take 100 years to turn this into a city, take all these people living around here, integrate them into it, make it a thriving metropolis, and a world power on the world stage with an economy. There's nothing here. Nothing. I've been there. There's nothing there. So how would they be able to do that? It's impossible. See, what you're looking at is the actual core city. It actually extended way, way, way out on either side of the river there. It extended 100 miles this way to the left and 100 miles to the right. But that was all providences. You can see a lot of the providences are still there, where the people used to live. That city right there, God made that promise. I'm going to wipe it out. And Jeremiah said, I'm going to wipe it out. It's not going to exist anymore. Nobody will live there anymore. Nobody lives there to this day. This very day, nobody lives there. There is nobody living within these outer walls of this city. All the people live outside of it, all the way around it. How that's going to happen? No clue. I have no idea how they're going to pull that off. Because there's no way you can do that within just a couple of years and make it a world power. It's impossible. It's never happened before in history. It's impossible. So what is the mystery of Babylon? Well, it's not the city. Obviously, it's not the city. It's a way of thinking, first of all. It's a belief system. It's a coalition of nations, as Revelation chapter 13, I believe, says. It gives a pretty clear description on what it is. Anyway, there's been so many prophecies against Babylon, and they've come true. They have all come true. And this is just another one, giving details into it coming. But so much is in it. Guys, again, I know I'm not giving you guys a whole lot of what's contained in here. I can't because I don't know it all. There's so much in here. It is just rich with inferences and rich with prophecy. It's just impossible to cover it all. But at least we can read through it and see what's in there and see if we can discover anything else. And today you got to see something else added to it a little bit. Very powerful stuff. But what it goes to prove is that when God makes a declaration, it's a declaration. And how amazing he mentions the watchmen here. And the watchmen have their statement. And Isaiah was a watchman. And we all are too, so we tell what we see. Seems to, quite a bit of it seems to link up and reference our time too. This particular one here, yeah, it really is like, oh, nope, you guys are gone. Now what's going to be the next one? So tomorrow will be an oracle concerning Jerusalem. So it'll be another declaration on Jerusalem. This one I think is going to be very much more specific. Whereas this one isn't quite as specific. But it's still talking about that. And Isaiah is so poetic in his speech too. So. All right, guys, that was Isaiah 21. I'm going to try to see if I can do more of these on the computer because then I can show you guys more. We can go look up stuff like the maps and all that because I find that interesting. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next one.